To support this podcast, go to positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amount is appreciated. Once again, positivesarcasm.com/donate. Thank you and enjoy the program. Jay here, positivesarcasm.com, recorded here from the Spare Parts Studio alongside New Hampshire's beautiful seacoast, finally warming up for entertainment purposes only. Like, subscribe, share, donate, positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amount is appreciated. You can hit me up on Instagram, now public, at +_sarcasm. You can hit me up through my website. Go to the contact page at positivesarcasm.com for all your questions, concerns, or comments. You can also comment on YouTube, things like that if you want. But if you want to email me directly, go to positivesarcasm@outlook.com. Yes, I read everything that is sent to me. Unless it's, hey, SEO, or do you need a janitor, or hey, do you want to buy this website? No, I don't. I don't want to do any of that. Hope everybody had a good Valentine's Day. What did you do? Did you take your girl out to an overpriced dinner where the food... Generally, you go to a Valentine's Day place and you're not really sure. Like, the food... In my opinion, generally, the food is 10% worse if you go for a Valentine's Day dinner. So I avoided that completely. I went to the diner. So obviously, my relationship, we kind of built it around this diner that's known in my area, and it's always very good. There's plenty of seating. There's plenty of options on the menu. It's a diner, obviously, so breakfast, lunch, dinner, 24/7. And it was just... That is like a thing now. That is like an anniversary staple that we have now, and it's great. And when I say it or when I offer it, it's just like, say no more, fam. Like, there's, the burgers there are good. The fish is amazing there. Like, I mean, like, obviously, like fried fish. I'm not going there for an old man dinner horn, soft as, baked stuffed haddock type of thing, which is such an old man dinner. I don't have a problem with it, but I still have all of my teeth. So there's that to consider. But the food is it's just good. It's just good food. And obviously they have tons of cakes, tons of chocolate cakes, milkshakes and smoothies and fraps. So you go there and look, I'll be honest with you, is it cheap? I mean, by what standard? You go there, party of two, a appetizer, fried pickles, awesome, by the way. Love me some fried pickles. They're just, I don't know, there's something about such a great, combination of the fried with the pickle and the dill sauce, and it's just like, boom, it's beautiful. But I mean, yeah, you're still, even if it's Valentine's Day, it doesn't, I mean, you're going to a diner or you're going to a whatever, you're still going to drop some nugs. I mean, $80 is $80, but you go there just in reality, because I am a person who is price conscious about a lot of things, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But like, you get an appetizer, you get two solid dinners, and then you get dessert, which is a piece of chocolate cake, and then on top of that, the strawberry milkshake. So you have a full Valentine's Day dinner right there, and you get away with about, and depending upon the service, generally I tip anywhere between 20 and 30%. So that you run around $80 that way. So prices have definitely gone up for sure, depending upon where you go, for sure. But that's where we chose to go. I mean, it really depends ultimately what your choice is as far as, what are you looking to do on Valentine's Day? The only thing I'm looking to do is, if I'm going to go out, easily get in, have a nice seat, which means a booth, and not be bothered. Have at least some type of service within the first 10 minutes. And I know that some diners, you gotta give it some slack. You're gonna go in there, and that waitress is covering 20 tables. You gotta give it a minute. But as far as the food, as soon as we got attention to us, it was quick. The drinks came out quick. The appetizer came out quick. We got all the order in as soon as she came over, and it was all solid from there. So boom, and that's it. Done. In, out. And then on top of that, you're gonna throw in a little bit of chocolate. You're gonna throw in some flowers, and overall, if you can muster up, for Valentine's Day, starting in like January, if you're looking to at least do something, and you got $100 bill, that covers all the bases, bro. You can get some flowers. You can get some chocolate, and you can take them out for a nice dinner. You really, really can. For just to this day, $100 bill will do it. Okay, so that's my opinion. Obviously, some people, they go to Smith's, or they go to Morton's, or they go to the Ruth Chris, and they're dropping 4 or 5 bills, and it's like, if you want to do that, you can. You can, or you can just go somewhere where you're gonna be able to relax, have a good meal, enjoy each other's company, and then head out the door, and still be able to afford the idea of tomorrow. But this is obviously something that we, cherish and appreciate, and things like that. And we've been good. And obviously my diet has changed significantly since the beginning of January, and then in the last 2 weeks for sure. But this was a night out that was, let's just say, needed. Even if it only was for a couple hours. Obviously, you go to Maine, you go to the weed store, and then you go over to, the jewelry store to go look at some things, and then you obviously head over, and then you go have some dinner. So you're not really indebted to the night. You get there by about 5 o'clock, and you can get home with time to relax. And that's kind of like what I think about Valentine's Day. I'm not like I look at Caroline Levitt, the press secretary, and she goes home, and on the bed is 2 giant bags of Louis Vuitton stuff. And it's like, well, we live in the same town, but we're in 2 different categories. So that's, I don't know, I just wanted to throw that out there. Obviously, some people look at Valentine's Day and go, this is stupid. But I understand that, but that, it's a little placeholder to let people know, oh, there I went, wrong one. There we go, let's get rid of that. To let people know that, hey, you are appreciated. Let's go out and do something. And a little bit of that is liked. And I'll be honest with you, if your significant other is like, I'm not going to a diner, it's like, you need to understand something that this is, if they're not into that, or if they're just champagne tastes 24/7, you might have gotten yourself into a high maintenance situation that you should be thinking about getting out of. Because there's nothing disrespectful about taking somebody to a burger shack, or to a diner, or somewhere simple like Chinese food. Chinese food that just screams romance. There's nothing more romantic than a plate of lo mein and some chicken wings. There really isn't. Because that's what they want to do. They just want to dive in. Just my opinion, but I just figured I'd throw out some ideas, or some simple ideas of how you could next go around, if you have the opportunity to, be like, hey, why don't we do this? I mean, how is a milkshake not romantic? How's a piece of cake not romantic? How is chocolate and flowers not romantic? How's a fucking barbecue cheeseburger not romantic? Come on. I had fish and chips. I'm fine. How's fried pickles not romantic? This is all tasty. This is all tasty stuff. What am I? Well, come on. Understand what I'm trying to convey to you. So, in related to cost, yes, prices have gone up on a lot of things, and they haven't come down yet. But I do want to let you know there is still. I try to keep you up to date with costs on things nowadays, but there are some things that have kind of they've bottomed out for now, at least. As far as some cost, we'll start out with all right, what are people's main concerns? Lodging, transportation, and food. I mean, there's things like there's other items like electricity and stuff like that, but you can offset that by being a responsible homeowner, by basically don't turn the temperature up this too high, don't leave lights on when you're not supposed to, shut off all excess rooms that are not being used for any reason, don't have 19 things on the charger. There's a lot of things, there's a lot of ways you can do that. Like when I'm done in this office, there's a kill switch that turns off the entire studio setup, with the exception of, I think, one light behind me. But everything else is on a kill switch. As soon as I hit that surge protector, the camera goes off, the TV goes off, the monitor TV goes off, the whole computer turns off. Of course, I turn the computer off manually, on its own, but everything else completely crashes out, and then the whole room goes silent. It's a great way of saving, being an efficient studio. So there's that. As far as other things, like Food. All right. Well, I remember it was just a couple years ago where the price of eggs was not only through the roof, but you could a lot of places two containers per customer. Well, as of recently, eggs have plummeted, absolutely plummeted. We're talking for about, so not just a dozen eggs, but 18. 18 eggs was between like $2 and $2.50 for a whole lot of, even though they are factory eggs, there is nutrition there to be had. There are still fats, there's still proteins, there's still other items that are building blocks for muscle and cardiovascular health, and just your overall nutritional guidelines or thresholds that you need to make day in and day out. And eggs have come down significantly. They're up a little bit right now, but not by much. I mean, I keep anywhere from 3 to 4 packages of eggs. Each package contains 18 eggs in my fridge just on a weekly basis. As far as other items in the food market, poultry has come down significantly. Poultry is your bread and butter. Hell, I've even seen fish, a little bit of fish from time to time I've been able to grab. Ground beef is, and what I'm doing obviously is I'm migrating more towards poultry because the fats are better, the protein is better. I have almost completely shifted away from pork because pork is no longer it's no longer cost efficient to the point of the amount of nutrients that I'm getting and the amount of trade-offs that I'm getting with just eating pork. Because pork is not bad, but it's not great either. You can reach your markers by eating pork, but it is gonna come at some cost. It is not the best protein source, in my opinion, based on if you have other options available, such as chicken or fish. Chicken or fish is always going to hit above pork. There are some lean porks out there, but as far as energy levels, as far as losing body fat, and as far as just your overall cardiovascular health, I think poultry and fish are going to do much more. Obviously, if you can get your hands on beef, great. Beef has not come down in price. There are some glimmers of light at the end of the tunnel for beef that I have been seeing, with some smaller cuts, with basically people not being able to purchase as much beef. You see a lot of clearance beef, which clearance beef I know sounds like real you're asking for trouble, but actually not necessarily. Like they have only so many days to sit on the shelf before it gets marked down, and then it's got to go. And that's perfect for you. You pick up a giant roast, or some couple lower end cuts of steak, or some ground beef is the hardest. Don't get me wrong, because ground beef is so versatile, anybody can just grab it. Therefore, it's got a high demand. But things like steaks and roasts, a lot of things, it's like a stick shift. If people don't know how to use it, they're not going to buy it. A lot of people don't. They don't take the time to know how to make a roast or even slice it up into steaks if needed or what have you. So they just don't buy it. They don't waste their time. They just go and grab the easy stuff. And that easy stuff is always going to be more expensive and not necessarily better for you. So that's what I mean. Obviously, beef is needed, but if it can't sell, it's got to go in some way, shape, or form. They either don't order as much beef, or the prices come down. But it hasn't happened yet. There was a little glimmer of hope every now and then, and when there is obviously a deal on something like that, you should just go after it 100% and stock your freezer. I did it this week with friggin' chicken. I mean, I haven't seen chicken breasts on sale for a long time, and I'm speaking to real folk here. I'm not going to pretend like my watch collection is all Audemars Piguet and Jaeger-LeCoultre. I'm a real person who does watch the market and obviously takes advantage of deals, because why would I waste my money? I wasn't raised like that. I did not exist in this world to be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna, I get it. I'm not in that position. A lot of people aren't, and I want to talk to those people. It's like, what are your go-tos right now? Your go-to 100% is poultry, and there's a lot of ways you can make poultry. I know chicken gets boring after a while, but there's other ways you can cook it and produce it and serve it. That makes it more fun. And you have options. You have chicken and you have eggs. Okay, eggs can do it. You have egg salad. You have you have poached. You have you have omelets. You have just basic eggs. You have hard-boiled eggs. You have You have options just to get through your day with basic proteins. All right. Fish has been a little bit here and there, but you have to, like I said, you shop. My opinion is you should be checking by the grocery store at least 2 to 3 days a week. 2 to 3 days per week. I know people, when they go on Sunday, they go on Saturday when they have time, and they got to run with the kids, and by the time you get there, it's like all the good shit's gone, or the good shit was on Wednesday, bro. So you have to make time if you want to get these deals. But that's on food. So there is some deals to be had for food, especially if you stay out of the middle aisles and you just focus on the fresh run. And a lot of markets have clearance aisles as well on produce, such as fruits and vegetables and other herbs and spices that will come in handy. One of my favorite, and since I've been dropping my sodium levels a lot, one of my go-to seasonings is Salad Supreme. Although like 55 milligrams of sodium is basically like a quarter of a teaspoon, so it's almost nothing. But ultimately, if you dash a little bit on there, it's got a great bite to it. It's perfect. And then I add a little bit of olive oil and red wine vinegar, and I got my salad going. As far as like preparation of your food, like I've obviously switched to red Swiss chard. It's got a very bitter flavor to it. And I was into it because of the potassium, because I knew I was lacking heavily in potassium. But if you eat it raw, you're only getting like 150 milligrams, according to the internet nerds. You're only getting like 150 milligrams of potassium. But if you cook it, apparently the molecular structure changes to where you get up to like 900 milligrams. 900 milligrams. And on top of that, that's almost double the amount. It's about double the amount of a banana, but without all the carbohydrates. So that has been now a staple of mine, raw and cooked. I do enjoy it. It actually doesn't really leave a bitter taste. It cooks really nicely with butter or leftover tallow or fat on its own. It's great. I do enjoy it. It just kind of it cleans up the dish. You can add it to soups if you want. So that has been my go-to. I've said that before, and I'll say it again though. But obviously, you have to look up the difference. If you're going to have something if you're going to purchase something simply because it's high in a nutritional, a certain vitamin or whatever that you want, you have to go and see like, okay, am I getting the most out of it when it's cooked or when it's raw? Cooked, raw, or processed, like blended or whatever. And Swiss chard is not expensive. We're talking about inexpensive things right now, or things coming down in price. Swiss chard or red Swiss chard is not expensive. It's $2.99 a bunch, which is not bad. So I grabbed like 3 of those, and that'll last you like a week and a half. Last me a week and a half, anyways. I'm also drinking tea like a savage. So food in many aspects has come down in price. Vegetables... Frozen vegetables have not, but fresh vegetables have. It's things such as like broccoli and other ones like cucumbers and squash and things like that. They've come down, so you can get a variety if you know how to shop. So consider that, please. Automobiles. So we'll briefly touch on cars, or not. We'll briefly touch on real estate. Real estate is at a stalemate in some places. Hell, especially where I am. I mean, $1 million houses are a reality, but I'm now seeing houses around me that were listed for 7, 8, 1.2, 1.5, 1.6. They've dropped dramatically in price. We have a little place in Newcastle, a little town called Newcastle. This is all $1 million homes, and yet there was a house there that was posted for like 1.2, 1.3. That has dropped to $899. Granted, it's not a huge house, but still, like that's like all of a sudden people are like, we're not doing this, even though interest rates have come down somewhat. We're not buying this stuff There are some places that are still being purchased, yeah, but we're seeing some towns that are very highly sought after. We're seeing homes between 475 and just under 600,000, where these houses 2 years ago or just a year ago would be well past 6, 7, 800,000, and people would snap them right up in a heartbeat. Those people aren't there anymore. If anything, after this recent snow blast that we just got, I wouldn't be surprised if a bunch of people just packed up and got the fuck out of here, because they did not expect this type of situation. They're just like, we got to get out. We're going here. We don't care. And then they get here. They get blasted by this. They don't know what to do about it. And they're like, fuck it, we're leaving. Hell, one house was purchased just recently, and then all of a sudden it just went right back up on the market. That does happen. I've been in that situation before. But you are seeing some breathing room where if somebody was like, I'm ready to settle down, to live in this area, I have the down payment, I've got the great credit, I've got the spouse to back me up, I want in. Cool. There are some options for you now where there weren't a year and a half ago. However, have prices come down? Yes. Have options become available? Yes. Is this going to last? I don't think so. I think eventually that curve will immediately start ticking upward, just because. Unless this becomes no longer a favorable place to live, which I don't see that happening anytime soon. We are literally the only state left in New England that actually has any value to it. The rest of them are falling apart. But we are in the winter season where kids are still in school. Once people get out of, their kids get out of school and they go to switch, they can go and switch schools during the summer, then you see houses go up for sale. That's a good question. But if these houses that are currently for sale don't go anywhere, that's going to trigger an additional reaction in the market here. But there are some other places in the United States that demand is still there. It's not going anywhere. They're building like crazy. There is a bubble, obviously. I don't know much more about. I'm not into the real estate market other than what I see, the current trends. What are things getting sold for? Are they being put up and then taken off the market? Put up and then take. That happens a lot. I don't know why that does happen though. But things go up on the market and then they get taken down. They go up again to test the market, and then they come back off the market. I don't get it. I don't understand it, but I can report to you that that is a thing that actually happens for one reason or another. So there's that. So real estate has come down somewhat. Food in certain categories has absolutely come down. Cars is your go-to right now. Cars is definitely, I don't want to hear about cars. I don't know why people purchase such expensive cars. Obviously, if they can afford it, cool. But if I'm talking to the normal consumer who has a daily job, they got a daily grind, maybe they got something on the side. I don't know if it's DoorDash or whatever. It's fine. God bless you. But we're talking about the reality of if you need a car to get you to work, all right, and you just need something, or there's options. Like, for example, I went and looked up the Mazda 3. This is a Mazda 3 with 16,000 miles on it. It's for sale right now. Actually, for sale in my state. I could go pick this up right now for $5,500. $5,500. Doesn't say anything about it being a rebuilt title. It's got a clean title. No accidents or damage reported. One owner. Personal use only. You can buy this car. You realize $5,500. Yeah, you can. Yeah, $95 a month. That's for 72 months. You could pay that thing off in a couple of years if you actually got, you just dropped it down to 36 or 48. You don't need to do 72 months. But that's fantastic. So this thing was listed in February. It was listed on February 1st, and then they jacked it up 1,000 and they brought it down 400. Okay, whatever. But that's not just one. There's multiple. Here's one with 32,000 miles for $4,700. We're talking. I mean, I get it. These cars are older, but Mazdas are some of the most reliable vehicles out there. We're talking fuel efficiency, seating for 4, a full-size trunk. and Mazda reliability with the options that Mazda generally comes with. But I'm looking at multiple vehicles here under 50,000 miles. This one's got 56. It's 32,000, 16,000, 49,000, 56,000, 46,000. Ooh, that's a hatchy. Touring. Nice. 43,000, 57, 56, 54, 45, 52, 53. But multiple cars. If you don't drive a lot, you can get yourself a 30, 40,000, 50,000 mile car for between 5 and 6 grand. 5 and 6 grand. And you have a car that will take you all the way up to 100,000 miles. You can sell it at like 90. Sell that car at 90,000 miles. You'll get some of your money back, and you can go and purchase another vehicle. And you can drive it. I mean, $5,500. You can manage to come up with $5,500. You save up like 2-3 grand. You take out a personal loan for 2 G's. You don't say it's for a car, because then they'll say, hey, we're going to make you get, full coverage insurance on this thing. If you don't want full coverage insurance, you just want to get liability so that you don't get sued, you can go ahead and save up a few grand, and then you take out a personal loan for like 2, and then boom, you've got the money for your car. Now, let's just say you live in a place where maybe front-wheel drive is just not going to do the trick for you. You actually need something that's all-wheel drive. I totally get it. I have a rear-wheel drive car and an all-wheel drive car. So if you need something else, here you go. Here's a Lincoln. An older Lincoln's right here. 2007, 2011, 2015. Between $9,000 and $11,000, you can go get yourself a banging Lincoln SUV, all-wheel drive. Looking current and looking good. Like, I actually like that Lincoln MKX base. I would drive the shit out of that car. Lincoln MKX base, 99. It's got 47,000 miles on it. I mean, I'm going to drive that car probably 7,000 miles a year. I'm really just going to drive it in the wintertime, or if I go on like long trips or something. Gets over 20 miles per gallon. Look at that. That thing is gorgeous. Got the nice gold emblem in the front. Seats 4 very comfortably. It's got a sick front end with the aux port, so you can plug in your freaking Pandora or your Spotify or whatever. Nice trunk, clean underneath. It's got the 3 something liter V6. Let's see. It's got the 3.5 V6. Actually, I think that's only front wheel drive. So you have to keep that in mind. This one is, if you're looking for, this is front wheel drive. That's front wheel drive. MKX base, 11.45. All wheel drive, $11,000. Look at the size of that thing. 46,000 miles for 11 grand. You could drive that absolute monstrosity of a Lincoln. Big pimpin' Lincoln with a rear backup camera, no miles on it. That's perfect, man. That's perfect. See what I'm talking about here? Life does not have to be expensive if you're just literally paying attention. And here's a little trick is, if you know where this car is. Now, let's just say this is in Mass. This car's in Massachusetts, so I could go and grab this if I wanted to. If a car is really far away, say it's in like New Jersey, and it's like several hundred miles away, and you're not going to drive down to go get it. If it's a good enough deal, you can call them on the phone and be like, listen, what's your most reasonable offer on this? Because I will literally pay for this car over the phone. You can send me the paperwork. I'll sign it. And then there are multi-car transport agencies out there that will go and pick up this car for, a few $100. They'll drop it off at your location. And then you can look it over and sign off on it for the quality of it. And then the car is yours. You didn't have to drive hundreds, if not thousands of miles to go get it. You can just have somebody else drive it up there. There are risk factors involved for sure. You have to research the dealership. You have to research, really look at the pictures closely to make sure you know what you're getting. But besides that, and if the dealer is wanting to move a car, they'll send you pictures of the car. They'll send you additional photos in the car. I've done that before. I paid for a car over the phone. I sent the information over to them. Poof, they took care of it, and then I said, cool, I'll be down on this day to go get it. And I went and I got it. And you know, yeah, the car was all scratched up, but I didn't care. I just wanted a nice SUV for the wintertime. So the affordability is there, but like I said, if you're just looking for a regular cars, this is if you wanted to get a little bougie. I mean, like, yeah, I get it. Some people are not into grocery getters, which this is a grocery getter, but this is a great little car. A great little car with no miles on it. All right, it's not like you're settling for some piece of shit Jeep Compass or whatever. Those fucking tin can shit boxes. This is an actual car that's going to do you a lot of service, a lot of good. And if you drive this thing you drive this thing year round, I'm assuming that's going to be what, 12,000 miles a year. So you probably drive it like 3-4 years. You flip it, you get some of your money back. You go get something else. You know, at the end of the day, it might be cheaper than a lease, and it's definitely cheaper than a lot of the cars you see out there. People are going out there, they're buying new cars, or they're buying certified pre-owned cars like 32,000, like between 20 and 30 grand. It's like, what are you doing? What are you spending your money on? Why would you go and put a $400 car payment on your record? That's asinine. You could be doing so many other things with that. But it's clear as day that you can go and get cheap cars for next to nothing. And all these cars here are right near me. So that would be fantastic. These two are in the same state. They're right in the same state. So things aren't as expensive as everyone claims to be. You just have to understand everything else has ebbs and flows. Like while some stuff is up, some stuff is down. And with the recent revoking of like the EPA guidelines for cars, you're going to see the market get flooded, I think, a little bit more. You know what I found interesting was this car. I don't know why this car is so cheap. I figured I'd just bring it up while I have the chance. I wanted to get this here. I don't know why. I think it's because it's such a limited mile vehicle, but apparently the quality of the vehicle is very nice. No, not McLaren. Well, that was pretty cheap, $999 grand. How much is a McLaren? $99,000. 90. Oh, look at that. You can buy a McLaren MP4-12. That's an amazing car, by the way, for $67,000. Got 37,000. That's amazing. See, everything's cheap. Now, let me see here. What was it going down to? Oh, it was Nissan. And no, not Altimas. I would never do that to you. I would never say get an Altima. I'm not that mean of a person. But I was just curious why this car is so inexpensive. This is a Nissan Leaf. These are all electric vehicles. $2,900, 58,000 miles. So let's just see. 49. Why are the miles so high? Did I turn that down a bit? I thought I turned that down. Oh, here we go. Yeah, let's turn that down to 60,000 miles. And let's see, 40. That one's got some weird marking on it. I don't know why. Let's do this. Let's do this one. So, used 2015 Nissan Leaf S. 38,000 miles, $4,400. I don't understand why. Like, if you're just bouncing around town, why accidents or damage reported? Yeah, okay, well, let's look at the damn thing. It's front-wheel drive, 8 hours, level 2 charging, 84 miles estimated range. So this is like a car you just drive around town. But let's look at the car itself. It looks clean. Okay, nice. Look at that. It's just a simple car. Hatchback and everything. Looks great. So this is okay. So the downside of these cars is you're not going to do a lot of traveling with them. This is a car, basically, if you live 10-15 minutes from work, you basically drive that car to work, you drive it to the gym, and you drive home, or you pick up some groceries after the gym. So you could do like a couple things during the day, and then you go home and you plug the thing in. And then you wake up and you do it all over again. Now, if you were going on a trip, this is not the car you'd want to take. Unless your trip is basically an hour and you're going to, as soon as you get there, you're going to plug the thing in. But I have to admit, like, we're looking pretty cheap here for $4,400. And here's another one here for $20,000. I don't understand why these are so inexpensive. Clean title. Curbside Motors is blah, 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 yeah. 18,000 miles below market. We have one of the largest. Our finance specialist will get you a loan if you file for bank. We can help you qualify. Okay, fine, whatever. Let's look at the car. It looks like a great little getter. It looks awesome. Yeah, great little car. Things are affordable. You should not be freaking out. You shouldn't. You should not be freaking out yet. You're in a, people could be in a situation where they really could get their shit together and focus and get some affordability under their belt. I understand where things are expensive. I know. I live in reality too, where things are absolutely through the roof. Things that I would have eaten or done a few years ago, I don't do anymore. So I understand that. But if you're just looking to get a job, get a car, get a place, you can still do that. Like, you can still get an apartment 20 minutes from where I am for $1,400. Okay, so you can still get an apartment, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom apartments in the Seacoast traveling area that I live in. That's clean, that's safe, for like $1,400. All right, and that's going to give you you get your own parking spot. If you just need to exist, have a decent little place with a decent little car to travel to your decent little job, so you can save up in a decent little savings account and save up towards a decent little house or a decent little future for yourself, and eat well too, you can absolutely do that. I invite you to challenge me on that. I do. I believe me. I hang out with people sometimes that they are wild in their purchases, but I have no hate towards that. Like I said, if you want to flex, go ahead. But if you can't afford to flex, and right now you're just starting out as a person, and you're looking to get your shit together, there's ways to do it. There's ways to do it, and I'm giving you real life examples of if you wanted to start out only slightly behind, there are ways to do it. I was just curious about this Nissan Leaf. I mean, obviously, if you're going to be you have almost no traffic pattern, this is the way to go. But obviously the Mazda 3, or if you want to go with an SUV or something all-wheel drive, your options are on the table, man. I mean, we're talking next to nothing. To me, this looks like, pre-2020 prices. The car market's flooded, and I think it's only going to get more flooded. Anyways, as far as health stuff that I've also been focusing on, especially lately in the past 2 weeks, I am feeling a little bit better with the reintroduction of sleep time gummies into my regimen. It has definitely helped me just kind of get a little bit of that sleep back, and then eliminating like screen time as well at night has been helping a lot. One of my things that I have to kind of preach a little bit more about is keeping up your cardio in the wintertime. Because you're building up, unless you work out like really, really hard, are you really getting all that sodium and all that extra whatever builds up in your system out of your body in the wintertime? Or are you just storing it all up and focusing on putting on weight so that you can keep on muscle? And I'm learning that I don't know if that was the way to go for me. I was starting to think like maybe I just had, it was really, really cold out. I was ingesting large amounts of salt. Now, some would argue, and I would agree with them, that salt is not your enemy. It's not. Salt is a vital part of your body. Without salt, the body drowns. However, I'm not sure if that was a good enough idea. Like, I could have kept my salt intake down and still kept my gains up and put in more cardio effort. Because I feel like the cardio is allowing me to sweat more. It's getting the stuff out of my system. It's regulating my heartbeat much better. It's not hard for me to do an hour of steps. Level 4, watching some Nico Leonard or some Teddy Baldassar or some other YouTube videos, I don't know, and just doing an hour on the stair climber at level 4 is very simple, is very easy for me. It's not difficult at all. And I'm not dying up there. It's just a nice little lean, focusing on my patterns and my steps, and I'm very rhythm at the whole time. And then it's a quick sit down to just bring my body down a little bit, and then I'm out of there. And then I can come home, have some food, and then take Chase for a walk. But I think keeping up the cardio even more in the wintertime is something that I should consider, and other folks, that because you just you become stagnant because you're not doing anything. It's cold, so you go right to work. It's cold, so you go right home and you hide on the couch, and there's no movement to the point where your body just kind of is everything that everything that you should get rid of, like you get rid of in the summertime. Like you sweat, you're more active, you're generally leaner, most people are. So your body is exfoliating and doing the things it's supposed to do. In the wintertime, there's a higher risk factor because of depression and the foods that you take in, and your activity level drops significantly. And these are things that obviously I was hyper focused on one thing, I failed to notice another. And I noticed some nutrient deficiencies in myself as well. So keeping up the cardio in the wintertime is something I really have to focus on more. My question is like, how do I pull it off? Do I take away one day in the gym to just do that cardio? And when I say cardio, it's like, I'm not going outside for a run. I'm going to tell you that right now. All right, if it's 10 degrees outside, you're not going to find me out there walking. It's just not happening. However, taking Chase to the park in the morning, taking Chase to the park in the afternoon is a great way to move the blood before you go to the gym. But on top of that, was doing stair climbers for an hour, I get a decent sweat. My body is like, my body responds to that. And I need to incorporate that more than once a week. So this whole week, I'm just doing cardio. I'm just doing stair climber every single day to see how I benefit from that. Because I'm not going to put on any more muscle. My legs are not going to get any bigger at this time, although I have been squatting a lot more. But that cardio, I think, I'm going to really try and see if that makes the difference in my current situation that I'm in. But besides the keeping up with the cardio, I'm a couple weeks removed from coffee altogether, or any type of stimulant, with the exception of nitric oxide boosters, which is basically just L-arginine, and L-citrulline, which is a vasodilator, helps dilate the vessels, the blood veins, so that your blood cells can move more rapidly throughout your body and open things up, so you're less likely to clot. And I felt that, okay, I take those in the morning, and then I take them in the afternoon. I've had no side effects. I actually feel better with those. No heart issues on those. I relax a lot easier at night. I've also increased my fish oil by double, taking theanine as well. My potassium level, I've gone from a couple hundred, like I said, up to several thousand. So on top of that, no stimulants. I did not get the withdrawals. Like, as soon as I was like, okay, no more coffee. And I was just like, I don't think it does anything to me anymore. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy coffee very much. But I did not get that withdrawal, the headaches, the grogginess. I stopped drinking it. I replaced it with tea, herbal tea, so no caffeine whatsoever. And that has been more than sufficient. And actually quite nice. It's relaxing. It's great for digestion. It's obviously nutritious. And like I said, I had no caffeine withdrawals. Will I eventually go back on coffee? I think maybe down the road I will. Maybe if I'm on vacation, or if it's the afternoon and I'm feeling, whatever. I don't know. I'll figure that part out. But I just want to let you know, it's like you're not gonna die if you ditch caffeine. There's other ways to go around it, but I didn't have that problem. It just didn't translate to having headaches or grogginess or anything like that. It was like I'm already having a morning cup of hot something, and that was more than enough for me. So just a couple notes there about some health wellness things that I've been working on with my own personally that I've been focusing on. I think that now that I really stop and think about it, like, has it made a difference since, like, I really had episodes where my heart was pounding out of my chest and sleeping at night? And I feel like a lot of the issues I'm having have really decreased. I'm still very cautious, though, so I'm going to continue to follow this thing by the book and make sure that I don't, like, stress, freaking out about stuff, food, proper sleep. Like, I am drama. I am dead set focused on all these items here and nothing else. Like, life is good. Like, the thing is, life is good. I wish I, spent more time with family or with friends, but it's like, you know what? I'm focused on the things that I'm doing right now. I think I'm making some headway. I got a beautiful new studio. I'm still practicing what I'm preaching when it comes to the stuff that I'm showing you online, and things are okay. And I think that's all that really matters right now. Like, I do pay attention to little things on the internet, like the Epstein files and all that other stuff. But ultimately, it's not my go-to right now. It's there. I know you guys see it. If you have questions about it, I feel free. But ultimately, I'm not digging into it as hard as I should be, because I am focused on things that I think are way more important, and that is myself. I feel like I had that wake-up call, and I want to let you guys know, like, these are the steps I'm taking. There is never a reason to panic. No matter what is happening, whether it's really drastic or not, there's never a reason to panic or freak out, because it's only going to make the situation worse. You have to be methodical, you have to be calm, and you have to be like, okay, this is going on right now. All right, there are steps to get out of this. And can I do this, this, and this before I decide to pick up the phone and go, hey, I need help? Now, if you do that, if it is basically when you cannot solve this problem yourself, there are people that can help you, whether it's emotionally, physically, and you can't, like, my heart's beating out of my chest. I don't think this is normal. I can't get this under control. Okay. There's places, obviously, there are people that will help you. There are some things you can do, but do it calmly and methodically. That is the one way you're going to solve most of your problems, is if you just see them as like, okay, this is one thing. This is the challenge that's been presented to me. How has this challenge come to be? What are the items that brought this into play? Let me see if I can unwrap this challenge and conquer it, or treat it, or mitigate it, or work with it. And when you're out of options, you pick up the phone, you call people that are supposedly smarter than you, and you go, okay, I'm dealing with this. What do I do? But I think I've made some significant headway. I look forward to seeing what next week feels like. I'm curious to see how this show is going to continue, given my new focus and on certain things. But I'm going to continue to let you know, like, hey, this is available. This is affordable. This is not. This is a smart thing to do. This is not. This is what you should be focusing on. This isn't. And just little things here and there that when I experience them, I want to let you know. This is how much I spent on this. This is what I did when I had to deal with that. And hopefully this offers you some guidance. Like, sometimes I like to have fun on this podcast, like last week with the Nazi coffee. I was like, that made me laugh. You know what? That's the thing, is ultimately you just kind of have to laugh at that. Because I think any religion needs to have the ability to laugh at itself. Any religion that can't laugh at itself, to me, has some serious problems with its teachings. That humility, that self-humility, that's got to be built into every single religion. If it's not there, I think that's when there's a real canary in the coal mine situation. But I'm not going to go into that really much further than that. It was on my brain, so I thought I'd bring it up. So what did we learn from this podcast? Okay. Valentine's Day, $100 bill still goes a long way. Real estate, down a little bit. Car prices, down a lot. Food prices, down a lot in certain areas. Cardio in the wintertime, important. You don't have to go and freeze to death outside. You can simply just go and do stair climber or treadmill in the gym, and that will get your sweat going. On a treadmill, 3.5 miles per hour at a 5.5 degree incline is what you need. On a stair climber, level 4, 1 hour. You do that, you're going to be all right. Elliptical, if your knees hurt. Caffeine, withdrawal symptoms did not happen for me. Had no issues. Not going to go back on it anytime soon. Swiss chard, raw versus cooked. If you're going to put something in your diet, check and see how the nutrition stats differ between raw and cooked. There's definitely some things to notice. If you want to donate to this podcast, positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amounts appreciated. You're looking to find me on Instagram at @positive_sarcasm. You can find me on my website, positivesarcasm.com. You can contact me there, or you can email me directly, positivesarcasm@outlook.com. You can find me on Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, anywhere podcasts are downloadable. You can also find me on Substack at Positive Sarcasm, and you can download the stream directly from my website, positivesarcasm.com. Video version of this podcast is available on YouTube and Rumble. So be sure to like, subscribe, and share of this countryside boy trying to live a better life for himself. In the meantime, thank you for listening, watching, and subscribing, and I'll check you all next week. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Recorded here from the Spare Parts Studio, alongside New Hampshire's beautiful seacoast, for entertainment purposes only. This has been a Positive Sarcasm presentation.